Good to go. Hello.
Good to see you, man. Welcome to the Decentraland Report. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, I'm excited to meet others who are building this community in a vibrant way.
Totally.
Important step.
Totally. Likewise. I mean, literally, you're not new to this space. I definitely have to say I was very impressed when I read through your application. Clearly, you know, I don't have to tell you a thing or two. You definitely know your way around streaming. You have, you know, a background, a clear passion for this kind of stuff. Just wanted to start by saying, I mean, you know, you got into this via investing, but like, tell me about your background. Introduce yourself to the channel. I'm sure people are gonna love hearing about you.
Yeah, my real name's Jake, but everybody calls me Proximus Regent. My introduction into Decentraland was, I think I hit it kind of big on She, but we'll say big for me, you know. And so I bought I converted that into a bunch of mana token.
Woo! And good. That now that's a big brain move right there.
It felt good. Felt like the right thing. And then a week later, I get a message, and my buddy's like, "Did you see DCL? It just pumped to like $5." And I flip it open. I'm like, I gotta go find out what this game is now. And I jumped on, and I was like, oh wow, you just click. It's all HTML based. I made a wallet. I was in, and I was like, this is great. I started showing other people, and something that really stood out to me was that it was similar to a VR chat experience, but I wasn't experiencing any of the nastiness you come across.
Why do you think that is?
I think because there's essentially a paywall and a knowledge wall.
Yes.
You have to understand. You have to have a little bit of brain power behind you to understand crypto and actually integrate into the community. And that ability to shut off non-verified users is perfect.
Absolutely.
Because it's usually the non-verified accounts that are saying ungodly things.
Literally. Oh my gosh. And I feel like what I've seen in the is that to like have any sense of like personality in the space, you know, you invest your time and your money and your creativity, and whereas in a place like VR chat, maybe that gets that disappears, but with a Web3 based, you know, metaverse, with a space like this, that value is contained into our NFTs, our land, like, you know, our personality, our name. And in that way, like, people don't feel so ready to throw that to the wind. And shout out to frickin' Mr. Moonchain with the community sub saying Proximus is a great friend of our community too. So people are showing some love here for Proximus.
Let's go. Oh, speaking of shout outs, Kibby and Decentraland lovers, I see you guys there. Great folks. Super supportive and just kind, wonderful.
Yeah, I love that. I love to see like the sort of like independent missions that come out in these communities and how we share that with one another. And it's like almost like, I don't know, to like simplify it, it kind of reminds me of like when I was on the beach as a kid building a sandcastle. One person like it's like all about making the moat. One person's like, yo, I'm making this village right over here. One person's like, yo, I'm gonna go get the water. My job's gonna be to make the water. You know, like I feel like the different communities, they have that.
I can relate to that.
Totally.
I can relate to that. I started using the HTML builder. I haven't gone too deep into the SDK, the development kit or the standard development kit, but I understand it enough. But I was telling a friend about it, and he was like, 40 hours, that's a lot of time to spend on a little builder. I was like, you know, it's really like, it reminds me of like my grandfather would build these little villages for trains.
Nice.
And he would spend hundreds of hours making these little train villages. And the fact that we can build these little villages and then walk around inside of them and interact, I think that's a dream the human conscious has been trying to manifest for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Well said. And honestly, like, the time flies. Like, it's kind of like, it's fun building, you know, this HQ how we are right now was entirely built in the builder.
Awesome. I think that's such a testament to the accessibility of Decentraland.
Right? Honestly, like, this is all builder items. This is 100% no SDK, like every link, every aspect of this, and like even this Pope machine, like everything here was put together using the builder. And I don't have any background in 3D modeling, you know, like this is just something that like late night on a weekend, you know, like I sat down with a piece of paper, I drew something up, and like, you know, you see like the Decentraland, like everything here, like it just gave me a
You did all the building.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that's awesome, because it's not super easy. It does take a lot of brain power to
Right?
go at it. So kudos to you.
Thank you, man.
I kind of did the same path, and I was like learning a little bit. I said, oh, it's just like any other 3D modeling. You kind of, you know, pick this, drop it here.
Totally.
And
this was like my fourth build, I think. Like I had done like, and I had done builder competitions, like, so this was like the kind of like the last big build I did, and it served me well right now with our grant from the DAO. We're gonna be...
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you, man. This is gonna be to serve all of us. That DAO grant is going to take this platform and take it to the next level of decentralization, and you know, all of our reporters are gonna be like featured in here. So one of these floors is gonna be dedicated to like our team. So we're gonna have like pictures, bios, links, all that kind of stuff. It's really gonna be like a living story, you know, and I'm excited to see like how that comes together here. One of the things that I felt like I wanted to learn more about is like, what kind of story do you think you're looking forward to sharing about here in Decentraland? Like, what do you feel like over the next 3 years is going to be really evolving that you want to capture?
You know, I thought about that pretty deeply, and I wrote some stuff down, and I kind of created a wide swath there, and kind of, you know, the future of Decentraland, who to watch, events, and finance. And then I kind of even tuned that up a little bit more under that umbrella, and I kind of had, would be great to have a brass tacks, like what grinds my gears of Decentraland. What quality of life updates do we need? Who's great? Who's annoying? What to watch out for?
I love that. Please do that, because I feel like that's true. Like, we are very positive, but like somebody, you know, we try to, but like we get very excited, but like we do have some things that need to be accounted and called out, you know? Yes.
And to do it in like a really healthy, positive, thoughtful way.
Absolutely. Respectful.
Always staying objective and respectful.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
But it's okay to be playful, you know. For me, I feel like it's okay, you know, like, you know, so at the end of the day, like, I'll tell you, we want your personality and individuality to come out, and like something I learned with the first group is that only brings a deeper richness and dynamicism to the stories that we're telling and how we're telling it. So definitely, you know, appreciate anything. And I see that you're already doing a monthly Magic the Gathering event. Tell us about that.
So I have just an eternal passion for Magic the Gathering.
I'm all about it.
And kind of fantasy stories, Dungeons and Dragons, role playing, and anything within that multiverse. And I had seen a lot of DJ sets and kind of a lot of not, like, I would call them low interactive, high energy events. And that's great, but for someone like myself with ADD, I end up just listening to the music, and I'm typing and I'm clicking, but I'm not actually in Decentraland. So my thought was like, how can I take something I love, give that to others to come hang out, and then we'll add some music to it, we'll add some giveaways, we'll try to make the giveaways inform the people that are there. These are great wearable makers, they're hardworking, and then making sure those wearables go to active DCL members, so they're being worn, they're meaningful, they're showing them off, and it kind of just reciprocates that positive movement or building.
Totally.
And we lucked out with Shelly Van over at True Club, and she was like, "This is your home." And I was
Oh.
like, "Wow, thank you." Yeah, and WJ Designs, who make the wizard gear, and I branded them the hardest working men in Decentraland, and it's true. And so without them, we wouldn't have kind of our mainstay, the pinnacle of wizard gear that we give out to people, and that's kind of like our our uniform of the Magical Gathering is the Earth Wizard. And
Yes.
they've been super supportive.
Well, I'm all about the Earth Wizard wearable set. You know
Hell
me.
yeah.
I'm a freaking. I'm always on Earth. You already know.
Yes.
And I love Magic the
As
Gathering.
Yes. Oh, nice.
I don't like have my own deck right now, but I used to, and like I used to like
Okay.
in college. I was like, that was like what we did, right? And yeah, it's a great
yeah.
community. Have you gotten into the whole have you gotten to P2E at all? Like there's I don't want. Have you heard of Aradina?
You would have to inform me a little bit.
I'm gonna share ARADENA.io. I'm gonna drop you a link right here. If you like Magic the Gathering, if you like this whole do me a favor, check this out. I might have just
Broken my
the,
brain.
yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a big I love Renaissance medieval strategy games like that.
I saw the your banner for your
For my Twitter.
Yeah, it's Twitter, and I was like, oh, we've got it. This is good. This is good.
Yes.
It's like a bunch. It's like that kind of medieval art with some magical vibes flowing through.
So I
was like,
that
all right,
piece of
this
art.
is cool.
That piece of art is a commissioned piece designed after a project, this Ardina project. So my PFP is in that, and that was like a picture that an artist did of the original community members who were there at an early stage of that, and she included my PFP in there, which is his name is Kavork the Bard, which is my old school D&D name.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically I'm all about it. Definitely check out Aradina. I think it's not financial advice, but I can tell you I'm definitely heavily
we're not
invested in
open
that
right
project.
We're not open right now. Up at the building.
I don't know if
I'm
you ever
actually
heard.
doing the interview from the nonprofit I work at. So
Oh, nice.
hardworking man,
I
working 2 jobs at once.
love that. Hey man, I mean, you use
Hell
your
yeah.
skills and you apply them, and you create value from the time we have, right? I mean, so do you think the 1 hour a week is going to be a challenge for you?
I don't think so. As long as it's very clear and informed what kind of content is required, and
It's
kind of
completely
make sure
up to
here's what I'm gonna
you.
do.
It's just a matter of
Okay.
saying
I like that.
what do you think this week you want to tell people about that happened in Decentraland from your perspective, from your expertise. It's just you feeling it. Is that something that you feel like is going to be okay with you? We won't be telling you
Yes.
Okay, cool.
No, that's fine. That's even easier because it's kind of here's what I experienced in DCL. Talk about, some events, maybe talk about some interesting occurrences, talk about the people who are coming up, the wearable makers. And
Awesome.
kind of one of my ideas was at some point to integrate maybe a DCL snippet or a DCL report snippet into the Magical Gathering, and kind of start to hybrid these things and take the mycelial network that is Decentraland and start connecting the nodes.
100%. Oh, I love that. I love how you described that. Have you ever heard of Fluff World?
I have not. You're gonna have to drop me some links.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna send you this one just because if you said mycelium, then you definitely need to check out Fluff.world. They are imagine the Bugs Bunny of PFP projects. They were original, one of the first ones that had embedded 3D models, and they have they have a world, a metaverse that they're opening soon that's mobile friendly and stuff. But they have their token is called mycelium. In their whole ecosystem, there are these There are these little like spiders that live underground that collect mycelium, and dude, it's pretty cool if you like that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna deep dive it. Both of these things. I went to the other one you sent. I'm spacing on the name.
Aradina.
Aradina, and that looks really cool. It's kind of got the medieval vibe going on.
Oh, it's and the founders
right
are super nice, like super committed. Like they're not anonymous.
Important.
They're like super. Their lead investor is Animoca, who was the lead investor for Sandbox as well. So like.
Oh wow, that's big.
Yes, and their market cap and their like floor is still low, to be honest. Like it's still an early stage project. So.
I always refer people who aren't in the crypto or decentralized world to the game of Rust.
Yes.
And how that started out is like almost 2D basically, and one guy just clacking away in his basement basically creating this game, and then a little bit of support, another year, a little bit of support, another year, and now it's one of the highest kind of renowned
it's a cult classic, dude.
Role-playing. Oh, I got so into it. I rented out a server. I started hosting a Rust server, and I was like, I'm gonna make my own world.
Now you are.
It was epic. Yes, there's that same kind of utility, if you will, to go out and build. There's a little bit more of a paywall than in Rust, but
but at least no one's camping your door, and they're gonna say
with an AK.
Exactly. I think. No one's camping your door with an AK. I think you're a little safer with your investment, right?
The big thing I would love to see is in Rust they added the ability to have different gates. Basically, you could have your AND OR, your XOR, your type of switches, your on/off, which is the same that a computer use. And then you could add solar panels, lights. Basically, you could build a functional computer within DCL by utilizing their source of energy. Or in Rust, I would love to see a place where people could utilize those same type of building blocks.
They have to
putting together. It has to be, yeah.
They have to do that.
I imagine some will.
But I'll say this: that might happen in Decentraland, but we might just see that be a thing in another metaverse, like. Because I feel like that's a very specific mechanic that has a specific like kind of outcome experience for the world, i.e. like this sort of like collecting builder and like engineering tinkering kind of, and I think DCL has a bit more of like community discovery, like event, like entrepreneurship, it's not so heavily mechanic build, tinker, grow kind of like mindset like Rust is. I think that there are going to be other metaverses, and one that I think might be, another one I'm going to send you a link for is that actually The Walking Dead is releasing its own official metaverse of its own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they have the Sandbox thing.
I do.
They now have their own like collection for like the collections that they're releasing. So they have like an alpha pass.
Oh, we'll go into not only an NFT you can hold, but then a wearable or something usable in that world.
Well, exactly. So they started with this like sort of alpha pass that they're dropping everything that you need forward from there, or you of course can purchase them. But like things that they have, for instance, they have a deed to land. So there's going to be land. They recently just dropped a motorcycle, so like for you to travel around. They're gonna be airdropping like tools, and there's gonna be things like all the little things like gas, batteries. All those things are gonna be different little NFTs that are gonna exist in this metaverse world that they're building. And it's just like I could see that being sort of like a Rust sort of, also like putting things together, post-apocalyptic world kind of metaverse.
I'm just impressed at. I guess if I'm organizing my thoughts is what I'm seeing from all the metaverses and all the different blockchains is Xbox, PlayStation, Dreamcast, PC, and everybody has their own niche. They all play on it, but someday 20 years in the future, we're going from like 2000 to today. Now everything's interoperable.
Yes.
You can be on an Xbox and a PC and play with your friends. But it took 20 years.
Yes.
And 20 years ago, if you got a PlayStation and your buddy had an N64 and the other one had a PC, you had to figure out a way to play on one thing. You couldn't all meet up.
That's big facts. Oh my gosh, everyone had to have like, you know, all your friends had a PlayStation and like you just got the Xbox and now like, dude, fucking left out at the LAN party, bro.
And I think that at some point the metaverse will have that level of interoperability where you're in DCL and you bring up your splash screen and you click and it warps you to the other metaverse and you can be with your friends there and you're jumping all around.
Need that, places. Bro. Are you going to? Could you see yourself as sort of like our PDE / gaming correspondent, like to keep us up to date on things like that and like how that?
I like that.
Awesome. We need that because like that's a ongoing and evolving thing, and like there's so many things that are changing, and I think the way I see is Decentraland is a bridge to all these other metaverses. Like Decentraland considers itself an open metaverse. These districts and these plazas, more specifically the plazas, are going to serve as gateways to connect into those other metaverses and those PDE experiences as Decentraland grows. So like you might hear us bring up topics of other metaverses that you see around, and that's not to detract from Decentraland because ultimately, you know, Decentraland is a gateway to all those places. So I'm excited to hear you talk on that topic. Are you going to then accept me putting this proposal here up to have you accepted as a Decentraland reporter?
I'll allow it.
Thank you. I say that because I appreciate your being here, and I think that certainly our mission here cannot be I could never do it alone. It's thanks to the work that we do together that we can have a report to begin with. So thank you, and everybody, go ahead, jump into our Decentraland Report DAO and vote for Proximus. He's going to help us stay up to date on the latest things in gaming. He is our
That's great. That's perfect.
Awesome, and he is going to make sure that we are holding ourselves accountable as well. So bullshitters of Decentraland and of the metaverse, you just be aware that somebody here is ready to call you out, respectfully, but you're gonna be called out, okay, if you got anything behind your back. So appreciate you, Proximus.
Keep it real and authentic. I love it. You're a good soul, brother.
Likewise,
I appreciate
man.
what you're doing here.
Hey, likewise. Right. Our mission brought us together, and looking forward to working. And I'll talk to you in about a week.
Sounds good. Let's stay in touch. Have a nice day.
You too. See ya.
Peace.